On this episode of Cox Connections, since 1978, the Community Foundation of Northern Virginia has been spreading goodwill throughout our region. Last year alone, it awarded $2.4 million in grants to support our community and $240,000 in college scholarships to area students. Also, the Main Street Child Development Center has been providing early learning opportunities and school readiness to low-income and at-risk children in Fairfax County for over 40 years. And finally, Green Spring Gardens is a hidden gem in Fairfax County. This historical site in Alexandria has over 33 acres of gardens and provides educational opportunities for children and adults of all ages, taught by master gardeners, like one of our 2014 Cox Conserves heroes, Mr. Clint Fields. Stay tuned, Cox Connections is next. Hello, and welcome to Cox Connections. I'm your host, J.D. Myers, the Market Vice President of Northern Virginia Operations for Cox Communications. The Community Foundation for Northern Virginia is all about building community, comprised of giving circles, donor-advised funds, community investment funds, and scholarship funds. They engage donors and grantees in building the Northern Virginia community. To help me explain what they do and the impact they have on the community, we're joined today by Sari Riskin, the Associate Director of Community Investment. Sari, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It is wonderful to have you here today. You know, the Community Foundation, just that term, could be a bit misleading. Tell me a little bit about it and what it means.
So the Community Foundation, as you said a little bit about earlier, is that we grow philanthropy to meet the critical needs of our region. And we do that through, as you described, giving circles. So we have groups of people that actually pool their money together. We have a future fund giving circle, which are young professionals. We have a business women's giving circle, where a group of women that are like-minded and want to get connected with one another come together and pool their money and give grants out to specifically STEM-related programming for girls and women. And then we also have scholarships that we run, so donors can decide to dedicate a scholarship in memory of someone, and then we help them facilitate that process. And we have 21 of those scholarships that we either manage internally, or we have donor advisors or administrators who do it in the Northern Virginia area. And then the third thing, I think, the giving circles, donor advised funds, and then scholarships. Exactly right. So those are the three main areas that we work on. Exactly.
So if you look at the communities you serve, how do you determine their needs?
So we actually do a couple things. We talk to a lot of people and figure out kind of what the needs are in our area, and we also do research studies. And we provide reports. We publish reports. Most recently, we launched our military study, which gives a sense of kind of what the needs are for military personnel and their families in the area. And then we also have done an aging study to do the same thing, to provide some data to help us as a community foundation and our donors make decisions about funding, but also potentially provide some data for communities for the Northern Virginia area, basically, letting them know kind of these are the needs that we should be focusing on as we determine where our funding areas are.
Great. So speaking of needs, this year you donated $209,000 in scholarships to 79 students. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So we have some, as I said, there are some that we do internally that were created by donors who are no longer with us, and we engage people who either have known those people or experts or school representatives to join us in making those decisions. And then we have donor advisors who we work with and help them facilitate their process. So they actually run the process on their own and then report to us the data. And then we have a big ceremony that we did actually last week, which was great, where we brought all the scholarship recipients together with the donors, and we congratulated them, and it was wonderful. So it's a good way of engaging donors actually in the Northern Virginia area in our work.
Absolutely wonderful. So I also heard you have an innovation fund.
We
Tell me a little bit about that.
We do. So that's actually where Cox, of course, comes in, which is great. And we're very thankful for the support that Cox has given us. We have just awarded, in the past 2 years, we've actually awarded $100,000 to organizations, schools who are doing STEM educational programming. And Cox specifically helped us make it possible to give Reset, which is a STEM mentoring program, funding this year. And we've also funded through this innovation fund, we also fund programs for after-school programs for girls. One is called GEMS, and another is The House, another organization, and they're doing a cyber academy to teach kids about cybersecurity, which I think is very relevant. And so we've just given them $50,000 this year, and we gave $25,000 most recently to the Mason Innovation Lab at George Mason University, which is very exciting because it goes into that whole entrepreneurship and STEM world, where we're actually funding groups of students to build STEM-related businesses that we'll be helping them with. So we're doing some very exciting things, and we have what is called an Innovation Brain Trust, which are a group of people who are experts in STEM or entrepreneurs themselves who are helping us kind of define the future of what this innovation fund is going to look like.
So a lot of things that the Community Foundation does is really in line with what the STEM initiative is.
It is, and that's why this Business Women's Giving Circle is going to be doing some STEM funding, and so is our innovation fund.
So what's the Nova Mini Maker? I heard about that. What is that?
Yes, so it's very, in the whole world of this innovation fund, we were introduced this idea of the Nova Maker Fair. And the Community Foundation, which was very exciting, was part of the licensing. We secured the license for the Northern Virginia Maker Fair, which took place last March. And it's basically a huge science fair for adults and kids, everything from 3D printers to a bike blender. There's actually a bike that you could ride around that actually blended drinks while it was riding around. It was awesome. And we're hoping to be part of it next year also. It was great.
This is outstanding. I mean, I learned so much just now sitting down talking to you. So if anybody wants to learn more about your organization, how would they do that?
So there are a lot of ways to engage with the Community Foundation, and they're either through our committees. As I described, the Innovation Fund Brain Trust, getting engaged and helping us make decisions about where our funds go. We run our Community Investment Fund process, which is our basic process for critical needs. We love having people volunteer and serve on that committee. Also, just supporting us, financially with contributions. We are, as you can tell, hopefully making a difference in the community, and we'd love support financially or with engaged opportunities within our committees.
Do you take volunteers?
We do. That committee work is volunteer work, and we'd love to have you. If you're interested, give us a call. We'll figure out a way to get you engaged.
So tell me how individuals or groups can find out more about you.
So the best way to get in touch with us is really through our website, which is cfnova.org. And there's information about everything we've discussed: donor advised funds, our giving circles, our community investment fund, our innovation fund. So please check out cfnova.org.
Sari, thank you for coming. This has been great. I think everybody knows what Community Foundation does now and what you stand for.
Great, and we'd love for people to get involved, so thank you very much.
Really appreciate you coming.
Sure, take care. Thank you.
Coming up, school readiness is something that we as a community are being increasingly aware of. The Main Street Child Development Center is tackling the issue starting with preschool-age children. They are also helping us minimize the impact of summer learning loss. Find out more about this after the break. Stay tuned for Cox Connections.